went to my first Cesar Chavez March this year, and before going to the march, I felt almost a bit nervous, but I was really excited about being able to participate in a community event such as this one. And well, right when we got to the bridge part of the march, I really felt empowered. I felt as if though I was one with the community. I felt group solidarity, and I felt like we were really speaking our minds in a way and letting people know that we were here and that we're not going to give up on our hopes and dreams, and that we're going to keep going until they're accomplished.
I've been marching in the Cesar Chavez March. I believe this is my third year. It was epic. I mean, I was at the front of the march. I was like a couple spaces away from the mayor, from the chief of police, from Jaime Martinez. Looking back at when we went over the bridge and seeing all those people behind us, it was great to see that so many people cared about this man's legacy, and that those preparations and everything that we've gone through, it had paid off. So I might have been a small part of the march, just one little thing, but to say that I was part of it was like pretty much an honor, I would have to say. It would be an honor to have led all those people.
I first started marching, or should I say following the march, it was back in 1999. And there's a story behind that. My son and I, Christian, we were downtown, and we saw these folks marching down, I think it was Commerce Street. And my son said, "Hey, Daddy, can we follow the parade?" I said, "Sure." I wasn't sure who was marching, so I followed them. They went to the Alamo. And I see this man speaking about certain social issues, and found out that he was Jaime P. Martinez.
This is the Cesar Chavez March for Justice in its 14th year. We're marching through this city to raise the banner, to remember the life and legacy of the great American hero and veteran, Cesar Chavez.
What inspired me to march was Cesar Chavez. He was the founder of the United Farm Workers Union of America, who fought for the rights of the forgotten people, as he used to call the farm workers working in the fields. The first march was 1997. And since then we have been marching, and it has become the largest march in the country to honor the life and legacy, celebration of life of Cesar Chavez. This year we had Arun Gandhi, the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi.
But I have always been an admirer of Cesar Chavez. I have followed his life and his work, but unfortunately I never had the opportunity to meet him, and that is my greatest regret. But I'm very glad that he has planted wonderful seeds, and when I see all these young people who are inspired by him and his work and are dedicated to carrying on that work, I am very happy, and I hope that you will continue this work peacefully and through non-violence.
Probably the largest march that we had was across the valley, where one group started in Brownsville, another group started in Rio Grande City, and then came together in San Juan. And that was a week-long march. So by the time you get to the climax of the march, which was on a Sunday, you have a lot of people coming in from different areas of the state also to be there. So it's a great exhibition, a great demonstration of solidarity, not only by the people marching, but the supporters that have come to, to stand up with them too.
Cesar Chavez was born in a little town outside of Yuma, Arizona, March 31st, 1927, and his family were farm workers. His grandparents came from Mexico. He was the founder of the National Association of Farm Workers. In 1962, in an abandoned theater in Fresno, California, he organized farm workers to come to an abandoned theater to write history. Never before has there been an organization of farm workers. For 125 years, farm workers were the most exploited families in America. And he never forgot where he came from. As a young man, he only went to the 8th grade and really worked hard in the fields with his family.
He always impressed me by how much he was interested in learning, his intellectual curiosity. He would always travel with a lot of books, a variety of different subjects, and related to people when he met workers and supporters. Very interesting to watch him relate to that, because you're basically talking to two different groups of people. You're talking to farm workers in Spanish. You know, he's working to organize, and then you're also talking to supporters who tend to be more middle class, sometimes professionals like teachers. So one of the things that always struck me about him with respect to farm workers is that he would tell a lot of stories and jokes as a way of conveying his point.
And lo que pasa es, see, what happens is that if I speak only in English, some people may not understand me, and that is where it's bad. If I speak only Spanish, then others may not understand me, and that's bad. But if I speak in both languages, that's really bad, because those of you who are bilingual have to listen to the story twice.
La Causa is a movement. Whenever you see the farm worker flag, it represents La Causa. When you're fighting for a living wage, when you're fighting for health care, pensions, those issues that are very important to our community.
Better living condition, housing, and more so education. We don't march just to bring these issues up. We stand on firm ground that this is what we must stand by, to those convictions, to make sure those individuals out there, organizations, as well as moms and fathers, daughters and sons, and students know the importance of what education is. Because without an education, these other issues cannot be addressed.
You know, I think it's important for people of all races, all backgrounds to march, because the basic question is justice. This is a march in the end about dignity, right? In the end, this is a march about respect. And every time you have a march, it may have different connotations. It may be about wages, as this was, or maybe about health care, or maybe about police brutality. But at the end of the day, the common denominator, I think, is a quest for justice.
I believe that Cesar, in many conversations that I had with him, he believed in education. To empower our youth. He started the first migrant schools to make sure that children of farm worker families went to school in the areas where they were working at. Some of them are now lawyers, doctors, professors that are part of La Causa. He died April 23rd, 1993. I got a phone call that morning when they found him. He died in his sleep. I went to the funeral. John Paul II sent condolences, the Pope. Presidents sent letters. Ethel Kennedy, the wife of Robert Kennedy, was sitting in the front row with the wife of Cesar Chavez, Helen Favela Chavez. There was a big tent, 1,000 chairs that evening, and Cesar Chavez was in front of all the people in a white pine simple casket made out of white pine wood. They had 6 ropes, 3 on each side, handles, and 2x4s on the bottom to be lifted up. He was a simple man who lived a simple life, but had a rich following of people who were dedicated and are dedicated to the struggle of La Causa. 50,000 people showed up. And we marched through the fields of Delano, California, where he first started the Great Boycott. At the time of his death, the whole world stopped for a minute to pay tribute to this great humanitarian, an apostle of nonviolence. He's our hero.
My mother and our family understand that Dad's life is finished. But we also understand that each one of you must carry on his spirit of nonviolence, his spirit of dedication, his spirit in humanity. We must carry on that spirit in his struggle for justice and for the farm workers.